Hello. Hello, my friends, and welcome to tonight's episode of the League of Amazing Adventurers here on twitch.tv/tabletop rolls. Chat, I hope you're having a magnificent evening. Sorry about yesterday night. I needed to do some more prep work, so we didn't stream. So yeah, we'll be back for the next little while. We are only doing our tabletop RPG streams. We'll be back to our regular programming schedule on either the 6th or the 7th, dependent. So, next Salt and Sorcery, September 10th, watch Matt and I probably not fight that Wendigo because as I've done more research into it, they're apparently an endgame boss that we've stumbled upon.
It's right next to the city. What the hell?
Yes, we're meant to go there towards the end of the game once we've gotten all of our skills and stuff. And yeah, anyway.
Well, that's not good open world storytelling.
We might be able to cheese it. But, so we have that. Then, of course, when we return on Tuesdays, we'll have the Cult of the Lamb playthrough. If you want to join our cult, come by the stream and we'll make you a cultist. It'll be fun.
Tuesday, innit?
Yeah. Of course, then, every Monday we have the Strength of Thousands AP. Every Wednesday we have the League of Amazing Adventurers. Every Friday we have the Calling Chronicle. Although the Calling Chronicle is quickly coming to an end. And then we will have a couple one-shots. And then we will have Spelljammer. Space. And it's going to be fun.
Space.
So let's see, those are all of our announcements. Next up, player introductions. Of course, we are joined by our usual cast of characters. No, that's not a word, that's a plural of something.
I mean, technically that would still be a word, but...
I know, but I was trying to do a multiple, a plural version, something of friends. But we'll just ignore that. Our
speaking of friends.
Speaking of friends, we have many friends here tonight, and many friends all over the place. Someone who has recently increased their friend. I can't think of a good segue from this. We have people. We have people playing games tonight. We have Abby playing Cassandra /Corellia.
I'm here to drink water and fuck Nim's mom. Luckily for McKenna, I hate drinking water, so I got a Snapple, so she's safe.
It's gonna
Nice.
take a while.
God, Snapple, that takes me back.
Speaking of taking you back, you might be taken aback by the quality of this person's TikToks because it's so good and high. We have McKenna playing Nimbus. You can find them at McKennaAR on TikTok. Go watch a video. I am going to stitch that video at some point in the next few days with an adventure for that character.
I have one from today and a longer one that I posted on Monday that has some art and a character that you could theoretically use in your own homebrew campaign, along with some art that you could also use if you wanted.
She's so giving.
Oh, yeah.
I am a giving soul. What can I say?
The Giving
Wow.
Oracle.
Speaking of giving soul, one of the other most giving souls I know, because they tend to give a lot in their relationships, is Cooper.
Oh, I agree.
Aww. You've been
Cooper
very loving tonight. I like it.
playing Lynx tonight.
Uh-oh. Makes me worried.
This one time, at my work, someone unironically showed up in a shirt that said, with the Friends logo on it, the one where they go to Universal Studios. And I acquired secondhand embarrassment that day.
It's giving chuggy.
Yeah,
And I don't use
Yeah.
that word lightly.
you really don't know. I've lived with this person for going on 6 years, maybe 6.5.
4.
I shit
wow.
you not. I've heard McKenna use the word chuggy 3 times.
That's probably every time I've used it, too.
That's twice more than I expected.
I didn't even know that was a word until now.
It's not.
It's a word.
You learn something new every day.
You learn something new every day. I learned today about Jackalope lore, and the person I shared that lore with was Matthew,
I am now the bearer of cursed knowledge.
who's
or,
playing
well,
Garl.
more
And you know what the
cursed
crazy
knowledge.
thing is, though, y'all? Jackalopes are like a Wild West type of creature, apparently. So
Are they?
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Something like that, yeah.
I'm looking forward to using them in the Western. It's gonna be fun.
Rabbit syphilis.
The way that we're gonna have
God damn
tumbleweeds.
it.
It's rabbit herpes.
It's rabbit HPV, but
Yeah.
like.
Oh,
It's rabbit season.
see, my mind went to tumbleweed elementals, which I think would be hilarious.
Oh yes, there's I have tumbleweed leshies.
Hello, how's it
Um,
going?
We have tumbleweed leshies. We have jackalopes. We have radioactive elementals, which I'm really looking forward to doing. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, to be a radioactive elemental.
Yeah, like a radium earth elemental. It's cool.
Just be a tumbleweed. That's all I want.
But that's all of our announcements. So yeah, that'll be campaign 2 for this game. Blah blah blah. Words. We're all around. Hi, I'm Will. And let's roll the intro. Last time on the League of Amazing Adventurers, our party got a whole lot done. After finishing off the party, they decided to split the party and head their separate ways, splitting up between Corellia and Lynx, and Garl and Nimbus.
Wish the party had finished off Nim's mom.
Nimbus and Garl headed out to Rosemine's Casino and Cabaret to catch a show and have a meeting. And Lynx and Corellia went to a Lord of Light youth group that was kind of like a little bit of a swinger party. It was kind of weird.
Swinger youth group. Honestly, not that different from modern youth groups.
Just like Bible camp.
Just like Bible camp.
just like that, and Folklorama in Winnipeg. It's a dating.
The
service
one
for young
time
people.
I went to a Bible camp, I knocked my brother and myself out of a canoe.
This one time at Bible camp.
This one time at Bible camp, I did something the opposite of holy. But
I learned a lot about myself at Bible camp.
But
That something just fell in the background.
Cooper
That's
and
me. That's my
Lynx and
fan.
Cassandra, on the other hand, though, headed off to that party. They ran into a NPC that they had met before and kind of left off on a bad note. Corellia did not improve that note.
Fair this time.
He deserved it.
And as Corellia was leaving, she shouted Nimbus's name. Malachor, Nimbus's brother, who the party was there to, make sure didn't get culted up. But also, is known that they're
He
trying to get
activated.
Nimbus. Kind of activated a little bit. Still pretending to be drunk, as Lynx had given them many a thing to make them intoxicated that evening.
All one of them.
One alcohol.
And a cider. Cider's alcoholic.
Just an alcohol.
It's apple cider vinegar is not.
Oh.
Yeah, apple cider. Did you think apple cider vinegar
No,
was...
I forgot about the vinegar part.
Okay, there we go.
I
Yeah,
forgot
yeah.
about the
I was like,
vinegar. I
Will,
heard-
we
Apple
went to the
cider-
same school.
Apple cider is alcoholic. Apple cider vinegar is not. But I forgot about the vinegar addition to that.
Apple cider is not necessarily alcoholic, but I appreciate that you are cultured enough to know that it can be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, to be fair, like, if there's anything Canadians going to be cultured about, alcohol is one of them. Because in the wintertime, there's A, not that much else to do other than to drink, and B, it
On
keeps you
God.
warm.
Just like the Midwest.
Yes.
Yeah.
But upon arriving back at Malicor's house, Malicor brought them into a side entrance into was Malicor's room, which is just a training room with like a really simple cot. It's basically like a no time for rest, Malicor. You must train and study. And we left off with the door locking behind Corellia and Lynx as Malicor stood up away from Lynx, hand on their weapons, and says, "Tell me how you know my sister."
What's a sister?
What? A siesta?
All right. So Cassandra will look at him for a second, and she'll point at the bed. She said, "May I sit down real quickly? Is it all right?"
I mean, there's no chairs in this room. I'm not allowed to sit.
Fair enough. Cassandra goes, she sits on the bed, and she pats the side of the bed next to her. She's like, "Would you care to take a seat?"
As you're sitting on his bed, there's just like a visible blush.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, why are you sitting on
Just
my bed?
she pats the bed next to her.
He's gonna fuck his aunt.
Well, because I have some things I want to say,
I think I'll remain
and I
standing.
personally...
I'll
Very
remain
well.
standing, and they actually like draw their blade and just like point it towards Lynx's neck. You may want to start talking.
Well, first I would ask, please lower that.
Lynx rolls his
And
eyes.
second I would ask, do not interrupt me while I speak. So I won't pretend that I don't know you have a sister, as I've arrived very recently from outside of Treladar, where that's a generally known fact. However, I do have two things to note. So you seem like a smart young man, and far be it from me to question your intelligence, but if I were you and I was trying to keep that knowledge on the down low, I would personally refrain from stating her existence as your sister so outright to two strangers. Furthermore, I must point out that I, an elven individual who has lived probably longer than you can guess, was in a heated argument with yet another rather old elven individual about a person named Nim. So did it ever cross your mind that we could be discussing a different Nim, seeing as it's a very popular, say common name, and we have both no doubt come across multiple individuals bearing that name in our lifetimes. Now, while you mull over that, and please do take your time, I must take the opportunity to ask you a question of my own that I find far more pressing. Do you really live like this? Please tell me you have another room, something cozier, because in my humble opinion, this borderlines on some sort of psychological abuse, like placing the pressure of perfection on you at every waking and sleeping moment. That is to say, do you need help, sweetie? A caramel, maybe a hug?
The blade's just on Lynx's neck at this point.
Snickety snack.
I feel
Travel
like you can
with her.
make me a deception check. I feel like gaslighting.
Perfect.
I feel like gaslighting is the deception roll.
Travel
I feel like
Cool.
I feel like gaslight is the deception check.
So while this is loading,
I feel like it could be either diplomacy or deception.
Depends
I'll
on who
go
you
with
ask, right?
deception, because I'm also going to add, just in case, a little bit of confabulator, a little bit of discreet inquiry, some slippery secrets.
Pinch of sugar.
I'm gonna save some intimidating glare. And then let's see, anything else? No, and then I'm going to hit it up with a deception.
What'd you get, Abby?
That's a 50.
I got a 50.
Nice.
Girl boss.
Cassandra is really good at talking.
And
She
Abby,
woke
what
up
did
and
you-
chose violence.
What did you roll on that to get a 50?
15.
Good question. So I think, what is it a nat 20? It's a
No,
little
that
less
was a
than a
15.
20.
You got a
It's
15.
15?
What I'm saying is you're rolling 50s
Nice.
on a 15 at this level. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Isn't
It
that
is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the big numbers make head go burr.
I like big numbers. I do also offer him a caramel from my pocket, because I feel like he does not get desserts very often.
Just if you want one, sweetie.
No, I can't eat that diet and all that.
You-
But
You can.
You realize one caramel won't hurt.
No, it
In
would
fact,
ruin
I think it might do you a world of good
every
considering the kind
every
of environment
caramel
you're
of
living
sweet I
in.
eat is 100 squats. I don't really feel like doing 100 squats tonight.
Darling, that is. I hate to say it, that's abuse. That's child abuse.
This is my room. I'm not a child. I'm a man.
I am far older than you, and my room is nothing like this. Have you seen what your parents' rooms look like? Have you ever been to them?
Of course I've seen their rooms, but they're diplomats. They're not soldiers. I'm a weapon.
My darling Darl
I'm a
is a
tool
soldier
to me.
too, and
I'm-
her room is very comfortable.
Yes, and that's surprising. Like most of you keep your crystalline warriors and their tanks overnight.
Darl is a bit more to me than just a warrior.
At that moment,
Can I quick show you something?
well, no, at
Cassandra
that moment, he's going to put his sword away. At that point, he's like, you're one of them.
William.
You know, isn't
Yes,
that?
I am
I'm sorry,
one
you're
of
speaking
them.
to me about abuse, but isn't that a strange power dynamic you have there?
It is, I will admit. But anything initiated is on Darl's wishes.
Mm-hmm.
I ensure I do my best at least, to ensure that she has the power in the relationship.
But you hold all those cards. One simple word, and they're putty in your hands. Now, these are my accommodations. There is a small problem.
What is
There is a particular order that's been given for anyone who knows of my sister. You have admitted to me that you have known of her. But I am an honorable person, and I do not like needless bloodshed. They kind of look over to Lynx, and I would not want to harm someone who has albeit tried to help me in some way.
So what would that compromise be for you?
Information.
Well, I can't make any promises, but what would you like to know?
You know my sister.
Yes.
Is she in Trelidor?
Well, I think her last generally known location was Lutonia.
Deception check.
There were rumors of. Technically, it is the truth, but. 53!
He's
For
looking
her.
at you
And then
very
also-
pointedly.
Also, slippery secrets, or is it discreet inquiry? I don't know. One of
It's
those adds
confabulator.
like
It adds a +2.
an extra. Yeah.
He's just looking. He's staring at you like deadpan right now. And I will have to wait. She has something in mind.
May I ask you a question?
Need it back.
Oh. What would that be?
There are parts of my memory that are fuzzy. My mother told me that my sister holds them, and the only way to return them will be to take them from her.
Malachor. I don't want to
I
put
never
my
did
nose
get
in
your
any
name.
business that's not mine. Ah, Casadella.
Casadella.
You may call me Casadella.
Yeah, at this point they've put the swords away and they're just kind of standing towards like the middle of the room. Very clearly still bad.
Would you like to sit on the bed? I can move if you're uncomfortable with it.
I only go to that when I sleep. Otherwise I am standing or training.
Well, look at this Spartan.
He's never known the touch of a man to be a true Spartan. I'm right.
Far be it to put my nose into any business that's not mine. But, being from outside of Treladar, there are a few more things that I am privy to that I feel may be good for you to know. But I don't think now is the time nor the place for it.
Doors unlocked.
Should you ever feel like your situation here is not ideal, or if you feel uncomfortable, or if you feel like you are in search of answers to questions you might not even know yet, please do seek me out. I mean, give me a little heads up, but
You two need to leave now.
We will. Before we leave,
No, you need to
I
leave
want
now.
to urge
I can't
you.
guarantee your safety if you don't leave at this moment.
someone is lying to you.
Do you
That's all.
leave or do you stay?
As I say that, I start to walk out.
As you walk out and the door closes behind you, you hear a voice entering the room. Malicor, you've returned home awfully late, I trust. Your mother's engagement kept you some time. Yes, father. Return to training. That party set us back a bit. Only 2 hours of sleep this evening. Yes, father. And that's probably all you hear from outside the door.
Cassandra whispers to Link, she's like, hold me back, don't let me do anything stupid, I'm gonna kick his ass. That's horrible.
Remember, Malicor, the Lord of Light only shines on those who put the effort in. They exit.
Yucky.
The Lord of Light likes the crusts cut off his sandwiches. He's a little bitch.
That's canon now.
Oh boy.
So, Nimbus and Garl.
So I have 21. Does that mean I win?
Me.
Yes, you did very well.
Yee.
You are currently at a table with Rosemine, Olivier Trendle, Kenleal, Veronal Kenleal, and Marlene Valenfall.
Goodness, those names.
I worked very hard on these names. To give you a catch-up, you've been discussing basically what they've been doing to take Treadletter down from the inside, or to at least mitigate as much harm as possible. And you've been told about the fact that in order to enter the Archmage's quarters, you will need to collect runes that each of the Archmages of the separate schools of magic hold. And you've been given the runes for necromancy, enchantment, and transmutation. You've also been given a handy-dandy set of keys that will let you get anywhere in the country via a portal door network.
Mm-hmm.
And information that the evocation wizard, the evocation archmage, who still is in Evokitis, I believe is what I pronounced it last week, Evokitis, the city of evocation magic, and the mages of conjuration and divination. All three of them remain loyal to Treladar wholeheartedly, but conjuration and divination mages are specifically kept at the Archmage's main tower as like a last line of defense. So some, as they would put it, once you're on your final run up, that they will probably be what some might call a mini boss. And then, of course, there are two Archmages who are currently undecided on Treladar's political landscape. The Archmage of Abjuration, Percival Van Trail, who is a very guarded individual, which is very on point for someone who has mastered abjuration. And the illusion mage, Minerva Non-Rochelle, who has not left her sanctum since the war began. She has sealed herself away.
Do you know how long we have before they use it?
A week, maybe some more time if we're particularly reckless.
Okay.
Olivier will kind of pipe up. Yes, I've been ensuring that mages who are less talented have been providing aid to their cause, so it's been taking some time.
Understandable. Does anyone here know why? I mean, perhaps there's no sense in wondering why awful people do the awful things they do. But it seems like it's a lot of destruction just for the sake of it. I mean, that is what they are slaughtering people to power, right? Is a destructive weapon?
Yes, however, the Archmage believes that this weapon will be used to unite the world under Treladar's banner and prepare it for something that's coming.
There's not going to be a world left if he has his way. I mean, look what they did to the Opal Empire. There was no sense in it. It was just wanton destruction for the sake of it.
Yes, that was Therendal at his finest.
I mean,
Archmage of Evocation.
it could literally just be as simple as, taking care of enemies, because anyone you can't control is an enemy in their eyes, probably.
I understand that to an extent, but if you look at what they did, again, with the Opal Empire, what they were planning to do in Malouts, it's just death.
It's probably
And it's not
easier.
It's not even just destroying the people there, it's destroying the culture they once had, any resources they might have created, even the land itself. Unless Treladar's plan is to turn into a bunch of fish, this is not a strong strategy for, I don't know, any kind of rule. I just don't understand.
My father is a proponent of a very terrible set of ideals. An ideal set that those who are not magically gifted are lesser. And that those who are magically gifted from places other than Treladar are lesser because of their education. He doesn't see the rest of the world as people. He sees them as ants. He's trying to make more space for Treladar to expand.
Well, he's doing a shit job of it.
But yes, you've done quite well at preventing him. Listen, I hear the reports, I don't get the propaganda. I know what you and your friends are capable of. Quite frankly, if you put your mind to it, you shouldn't have trouble stopping my father. That's why I'm willingly giving you my rune. You have to understand, if you all fail, not only are you dead, but so is the rest of the world, and so are us. So is us for helping you. He will not care that I am his flesh and blood. He will kill me. Once my father is set into something, nothing can change his mind, and Nimbus, I think you can definitely relate to that.
Unfortunately, yes.
Don't worry. We're going to kick all the asses, so it won't be a problem.
That's right.
I second what Garl said.
Rosamund chuckles. Well, I appreciate the levity in the situation.
There's not a whole lot else to face this with. Anything other than levity, and it's just despair.
I mean, you gotta keep a positive outlook, and even if death comes for you, just laugh in its face.
I will do my best.
Don't worry, if I'll pick up the slack if I need to, assuming I'm
And,
not dead first.
well, if you die first, I can fix that. Doesn't
Okay,
necessarily go both ways.
do it with a laugh.
Garl, you have my word.
I can just see it now. Oh, Garl's got a hole in her chest. Ha ha ha.
I'll probably also be crying. Is that okay?
I mean,
Oh,
I
speaking of
appreciate the
crying,
sentiment. Oh,
Olivier pipes up. I've had some house guests for some time. Now they're beginning to become awfully bored of the makeup that I've been putting them in to make people think they're undead thralls. But
wow.
Do you happen to have a way out of Trellador safely? Maybe we could just jaunt them out of quickly. They should be they're refugees from Lutania. The Buka family. They tried to stop Trellador from embezzling money from Lutania, but failed.
Yes, I am very familiar with the Bukas. They are very, very dear to me. I don't think we have an easy way out of Trellador at the moment because
Alright,
I
then.
can't send for help until we deal with Mr. Abjuration. But
Then I will continue to provide them with makeup.
can you tell them one other thing?
Sure.
Tell them their daughter is not only alive, but thriving.
I can send them that message.
Tell them I saw to it personally.
Of course.
Wow.
Taking credit.
Miss
I mean,
Nimbus.
did she not? Did she not see to it personally that Gwendolyn was
No,
alive and
she
thriving?
did. No, it's true. I just think
No.
it's funny as all.
Nimbus, yes, I saw to it personally. Leaves out the part about the tribunal of fucking gods. And
I'll tell them about that myself at some point, ideally. I have to leave something
Nah.
fun to talk about over dinner once we finally sort this mess out.
Christ.
a Lord of Light, thank you.
I hate you.
So, you all know about my father being, Archmage of Divination and all.
Yes, he is.
May I be a bit
currently-
selfish and ask about the rest of my family?
Well, your father is currently here for a little bit. He's back for a short stint, although he'll be returning to the Archmage soon. Your mother, Rosemine speaks up, is in probably the worst state I've ever seen her in. And the best state I've ever seen her in. It kind of depends on when you catch her, if you catch my grift.
I've heard something about the way
Yes,
she...
she's been repeatedly modifying her own memory to act as some sort of sleeper agent for us. We've told her to stop, but she's determined to be as useful as she can be.
Mama Nimbus.
I
Of course,
suppose I'm grateful for that.
there's your brother.
Nimbus.
Dreadful business with him. He is not living the greatest life. He is essentially a soldier and a tool. In the literal and the metaphorical sense as well. Albeit as much training and as much as they've tried to squeeze it out of him, he has kept it the kind heart that seems to run through half of your family at least.
That I am grateful for.
And of course, Lucinda. She is about. I haven't seen her in some time.
Since... I must have been 4 or 5.
She's advanced in years. Olivier speaks up. Yeah, the old crone taught us.
Honestly, I wasn't sure she was... She never really stayed in contact with my family after we moved to Brighthall.
She tends to live off the grid, both magically speaking and personally speaking. The last we heard from her, she had gone towards Treladar's capital, following some sort of disturbance with the ley line.
Interesting. Do we know where her loyalties lie?
To your family.
A difficult proposition.
Now, whether that's to your father's side or her side, I would assume it would be to her side.
Hope so.
Abby's face.
I had to double check my notes, but this
she's-
lieutenant, she's the one who wiped my memory.
Yeah,
Yeah. The very same.
the very same.
That's Nana. Nana
I
Lucinda.
just assumed she was dead.
Oh no, she's just very old.
It's not easy being
Some-
old.
Some might call her almost somewhat immortal.
Ow.
Hint, hint.
Gods, it was not easy seeing my mother. I've never seen her drink like that.
She is in a dreadful state. Nimbus, you need to understand. The half of your mother who's when she is in the state she's in right now, is the half of your mother that buried you, then took the memories of you from stories that she had told you, and gave them into your artificially aged up brother without telling him. And then being told to tell him that the reason he has missing gaps in his memories is because you are still alive somewhere in the world and took them, and the only way back is if he kills you.
She said it was my fault. Gods above, of all the confounded things. I understand that if he is to be a weapon, their goal must be to pit us against each other, but that...
I can understand the desire to reacquire memories.
They brought owls from Lutania
Oh
so
no.
that his hawk could practice hunting them.
Ooh.
I heard. Merle is safely pet cached, and probably will continue to be for the foreseeable future. But, I don't know.
Your father has not been themselves, or as mine says.
He's not been what?
He's not been himself. Ever since
You
he became
mentioned
the
that.
Archmage. He was a much kinder man, at least when we were in school. You have to understand, all of us were in the same, effectively, class. We went through all of our schoolings together. We were essentially a group that was seen as the golden age of Treladar. We were going to bring prosperity to the nation. And Samuel's seen to that.
It's prosperity.
Yes.
But, I mean, I've known him... I've known him the way a child can only know a parent, which is to say that I know him as an authority figure, and I know him as family, but I would like to know him as maybe you once did. What was he like when he was in school?
You were probably not taught this, as it's sort of a black mark on Treladar's history. But for the longest time, Treladar had a bit of a demon problem. There would be a lot of arcane practitioners who would attempt to grasp onto divine power using arcane means, and this is what came of it. Those people who failed that would become corrupted and changed and become possessed. That was at its height when we were younger. And all of us, essentially, even though we were just students at the time, saw about protecting the country and the people of it from those threats. Your father specifically worked hand in hand with Samuel. The two of them probably being the most powerful mages among us.
Among us.
Sus.
I saw the Lord of Light vent.
It was through many battles that our friendship was formed. And eventually we came into power, and we rooted out the causes of people attempting to grasp onto the divine, and we found a more concrete way of doing so. And thusly, divine magic was added to Treladar's teachable portfolio, and people stopped getting themselves possessed by demons.
Do you think it's possible that if there was this issue with the demonic, this issue of possession, could it be possible that a similar issue is happening with Celestials? We saw something similar actually in Megdia before Treladar's attack.
Unfortunately, and they all basically say a similar sentence, so I'll just do Rosemines. Unfortunately, my knowledge of Celestials is rather limited. When we were facing off with them, if we were facing off with demons, we would often focus more on arcane means of stopping them or occult means. Unfortunately, your father was sort of the divine expert among all of us.
Can I do a religion check?
Yes, if you'd like.
I would like very much. 40?
It's rare, but Celestials have been known to take control of people. There are even some notes of Celestials taking control of dead bodies and continuing to move them.
Ew.
This is an actual thing that Celestials can do. Specifically, you would know actually the two Celestials that you met in the basement of the mansion in Kalmia, in the castle, Salagosa.
Yeah.
Those two Celestials are capable of possessing mortals.
You know, that's actually something Nim would know a lot about, because that is a very specific Desnan folktale about the Huntress, where that Desna wiped her off the face of the earth, destroyed another goddess so thoroughly that it almost caused an interplanar war, because this goddess was killing her followers, possessing their dead bodies, and then having their dead bodies go and kill their family.
Yeah.
So, this family would see a loved one come and murder them and not understand why. And this goddess, the Huntress, had been doing this to a number of different gods, but when she did it to Desna, Desna was the one that finally said, fucking enough, and absolutely slaughtered her, annihilated her. It was, again, so thorough that people were pissed and scared, and Saren Ray and Shaylin had to step in and be like, hey,
babe.
This is fine. This goddess was pissing off all of us, remember? Desna did a good thing, and they were all begrudgingly like, okay, but no wanton displays of power like that ever again, please. And we're like, okay, we'll do. Halo.
But
so
so
Nimbus would know specifically about
that's
this.
That's a thing that Celestials can do. Now, it's a very rare thing. Celestials don't do it often.
Because the Wrath of Desna might be called down upon.
Well, not only
The
because
Wrath
of
of
Desna, but because, think about it. It's not the most, if a Celestial's doing that, they're not exactly doing that for the good half of their alignment. They might be doing that for the more lawful half of their alignment, trying to maintain an order or impose some sort of order.
Celestials can be evil, can't they?
Some can be, but it's very rare.
Or at least lawful neutral.
Yes. But...
Or true neutral. But anyway.
Anyway.
Tangent aside, I think Nim goes on this little, oh, I read about this, blah, 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 blah. And then everyone's like, oh.
Their eyes,
There she
their
goes
eyes
again.
all glaze over, and Olivia just says, yes, Nimbus, your father has told us the story so many times.
Oh, to be
Good.
compared to Daddy.
To the point
Daddy.
where I believe at one point I was able to recite it.
You know what? I
You're very
suppose
much-
I'm glad for that, because that means that at one point he did truly believe in Desna's dogma. And
You're very much
Welcome.
like him.
Desna's love and light.
that worries
Okay, now don't
me,
go
but
that
I'll
far.
take it as a compliment.
No, like, you're very much like him when he was young.
Oh.
Yeah. Well,
The version of your father that quite literally fought back the abyss.
that was when you all were adventuring, wasn't it?
That was when we were all in school. It's amazing. It's amazing what they let students in magical schools get up to.
So I've heard.
Like, the amount of responsibility shoved on students to fix entire nations worth of problems sometimes is absolutely ridiculous in my mind. It's why we've been trying to keep our students out of it. We've been trying to deal with it ourselves, because with literal archmages, we have this power. We should be using it, not delegating it to... Anyway, sorry, this is my own personal soapbox. as they
No,
will.
I agree with you entirely. No, it was just that I actually had no idea that my father and mother had ever done something as uncouth as adventuring until very, very recently. They
Well,
had kept it from me. There wasn't any scrapbooks or stories or anything.
Well, actually, Rosemine like perks up a little bit, and heads over to a like basically like a wardrobe. Pops open the wardrobe, and grabs a couple things. She grabs a scrapbook that she had from the time, because Rosemine's the type of person to do this, and she also grabs this like beautiful, star knife. That looks like it was literally it looks like it's like shining light slightly and like cold. Yes, puts that there and just puts the star knife in front of you, and like upon closer inspection, it's like a comet has been encased and kept and forged into this weapon.
Wow.
She just like pops open the book. Garl, you may find this interesting as well.
Okay.
Oh.
And she kicks open the book. Now, before I show you this, just know that as a premise, the Crystalline Warrior Project had been in the works long before we had become any sort of power players in Treladar. They are the compilation of one of the country's founders' research and Lucinda's research. And yeah, they began to go through this scrapbook with you, basically, of them like starting out in school together, and like them like becoming like making like a study group essentially. Like that, because like every single, like the way magic school in Treladar works is like every single person has to be in some sort of like advanced study group to like learn extra types of magic and specializing it. And so they all said, okay, we don't really want to join any of the established ones. We'll make our own, just focused on advanced magical studies. It was basically a way for them to all goof off. But unfortunately, that then turned into them turning their study group into Demon Fighting Club.
Bunch of weeaboos.
No, like literally, they would just be like, they'd be like, one day they were just like chilling, and like one of their other classmates who had been like struggling in their classes just got taken over essentially, because they were trying to get a little bit of magical boost before an exam, and they were running amok in the school, and they were like, oh fuck, okay, we gotta stop them. Yeah, we gotta stop them. And then they stopped them, and then that just kind of became what they kept doing. He's like, this is a real big problem, isn't it? Yeah, there's been like 10 of these in the last few weeks. Someone should really stop these. And that's kind of how it began. And they just go through this like huge list of adventures. Like at one point, they literally went into the Shadow Plane, found a cabal of demon summoning Kuthanites, destroyed them, freed what they were essentially using as a battery, which was this elf that was being kept in there. By the way, picture of Aranari.
Oh no.
But, like, super
Should have
gaunt.
left him there.
Don't make me feel bad for Arnari.
But, like,
I
super gaunt
don't.
Aranari. But the elf there, they had been a member of the Treladarian society. They were stationed in the Shadow Plane for research purposes. It was meant to be like a long-term effects on like a material person. Their master, Corellia, had asked them to do that. But when he came back with us, they brought us to the lab, and we were lacking. We were mages. We were lacking in martial capability. So, and then they point to a picture of them on what appears to be like a martial training ground, and there's Garl.
Okay.
Arl?
She looks hot.
Stop.
And like as
Oh, that's
that
you.
thing, it clicks now. Like Garl's memories from that time come rushing back, seeing this picture. You trained a whole bunch of like mage kids how to handle themselves in a physical fight.
Oh god, they did shout out all their spell names when they cast them.
They did.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
And like there's like
nerds.
it's like 5 years of Garl's life just rushing back, where it's like you were fighting demons, helping these kids out, and just being awesome.
Excuse me for a second. Girl goes over to like a corner of the room with all these memories rushing back in her head and just vomits into a basket or something. Like, oh, that is an uncomfortable feeling. Oh,
Check out how hard I can cry.
My brain.
And stands up and pats you on the back.
To give a little bit lore, there
God,
was
I
an
have short
entire
hair.
forest in Treladar where a group of students attempted to mix primal and divine magic. An entire forest of demon trees formed.
good times.
Unfortunately, we were all fighting Garl, and there's like just a picture of this forest, or like there's like before and after essentially. This like beautiful forest landscape, and then just like forest hellscape that's been completely cut down, and Garl just sitting in front of it with an axe.
How old am
Yeah.
I?
So the same age. Because essentially,
No, like,
after
how
that
old
point,
am I now?
Physically, probably in like late 20s, early 30s, but of actually, probably hundreds of years old.
Probably similar age to Corellia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Ooh. Ooh, there's not that big of an age gap anymore. Ooh.
And then there was a whole instance, unfortunately, and Garl, you of course remember this. At one point, you took a very terrible wound, and they essentially had to put you back into the tube to save your life. So they did that, and they got you healing. And then,
That's
Party.
why I have scars on the inside of my eyelids.
and yeah,
They're very
they just
itchy.
they go through this like huge list of adventures. Essentially, like imagine like another party of adventurers going from like 1 to 20, and they tell you in great detail everything.
Is the entry why I lost levels then and started the campaign at a lower level?
No, you trained them at the very beginning, so at that point you were
Oh,
only
okay.
at the level you were, and then they advanced far beyond that.
Oh, well, I was healing, they power leveled.
Yeah,
Jerks.
they killed hundreds of thousands of demon goblins. That's
We
the
were
only way to
supposed to
level up
quest
as a mage.
together.
You just have to slaughter millions of demons.
that's not how I
Whoopsie,
leveled up,
whoopsie.
but
Joke.
I suppose to each their own.
But yes, that's and they continue down this trip down memory lane, to the point where, towards the end of their campaign against the basically demonic influences in Treladar, they had discovered that the last archmage had actually remained alive. Like, they were said to be dead, but they had actually remained alive and were essentially corrupting mages and pulling demonic influence for them. And y'all had nothing to deal with this. And they kept, like, there was a time where your family and, like, their party was just losing battle after battle. They kept getting pushed back, and more influence came into Treladar. More people were allowing themselves just to become possessed to get more power. And it actually became such an issue that a lot of people who were without magical power were just unable to resist it. Like, there was a point where just like, if you did not have magical power and a mage with magical power wanted to, they could just pop a demon into you.
We don't care for that very much.
It's free real estate.
It's free
It's free real estate. But yeah, so they go through that. They're starting to lose, and then there's like a little bit of a decisive battle that kind of started pushing everything back. Samuel had had begun grabbing chronomancy at that point, figuring out chronomancy, and they begun using chronomancy a little bit more, and they began basically borrowing power from their future self to deal with these demons. And then eventually it came towards the end of the conflict where things finished off and everyone was going to go their separate ways. They graduated school. They had effectively given themselves the level of nobles all throughout Treladar, regardless of their parentage or their heritage. And it was time for them to go their separate ways. But the night before basically everyone was going to go off on their own, your father finally made a move against the woman that he had fallen in love with during this campaign. And he quite literally, during a comet, like a shower and a comet like passing over the planet, he quite literally gathered their divination magic and their ability to manipulate the stars and pulled a comet from the sky and turned it into a star knife for your mother and gave her that as like,
Kinda romantic.
Hey, I love you. Do you want to be with me?
Oh.
I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you.
And Lucinda got their hands on it from your mother, who gave it to her as like a, hey, this is what's going to trigger my memories.
Oh.
And she just hands it to you, Nimbus.
Okay.
Also now, your magic weapon has been replaced with this weapon. It doesn't do anything in addition, but it's just prettier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is quite possibly the most important thing anyone has ever given me. Thank you.
It's not mine to keep. It's quite literally yours. Well, not yours, but your family's.
Question regarding the abjuration wards are concerning communications going in and out of Treladar, but communications within Treladar
Shouldn't be monitored, especially when they're... Percival has been somewhat helpful in the sense where there are certain spaces that would be considered safe to magically transmit where you would not be listened in on.
Okay.
As you kind of take that breath, Corellia and Lynx.
Hello.
So the two of you are outside. You're still on Nimbus's property, effectively. What would you like to do?
I love that we're calling it that.
Are you going to be heading home? Or are you going to head back to the manor? Are you going to burn down their mansion? What do you want to do?
Cassandra's had a bit of a long day. She wants to head back to her room and curl up and wait for Girl to get home so she can cuddle because her ex-husband is a dick.
Yeah. Lynx understands.
Oh God.
Are you okay?
There was a bit of a conversation had with the Lord of Light, Ragnathon, and he was fairly insistent that I would be unable to resist the call to return to him when he made his reappearance. And while I do not feel that way currently, I have to wonder if he knows something that I might not. And that scares me.
You'll be back.
I, for one, wouldn't let anything a man says affect me.
Fair.
And that's how I feel about that, but I can understand your concern.
Valid. How about you? How are you feeling?
Bad.
I do apologize for getting a sword pulled on you.
No. I feel bad for him. He
Yes.
remembers the first spelunking trip that we all took together. Do you remember when I got skewered by a spear trap?
I vaguely recall.
He remembers that. He thinks
It
that
kind of makes
happened
me-
to him.
Yeah. It kind
That
of
he
makes me
was
wonder
there.
how much of the memories they replaced.
Clearly too many. It wouldn't surprise me if they took all of her experiences, her memories, and just funneled them into him. I feel bad. But there's truly not much to be done about it, and I think that's the main reason I feel bad. He's too far into the rabbit hole. I don't know if we're going to be able to recover him, but I do think we'll be able to pacify him. It's
hope
going
he
to
can come
be
to us.
difficult. I do too. We should reconvene with the others regardless and
Agreed.
probably let them know what's occurred, what's happened, and that he's now aware that Nimbus is probably nearby.
Yes. I do have to wonder, though, if Nimbus's father knows that she's supposed to be heralding in the Lord of Light. Because he wants to kill her very bad, and I don't think she can do that if she's dead.
If you want, you can make an Arcana check.
Oh no.
I
I'm not-
will do that.
Turner.
Oh, for once I
there-
have
there
not
are-
opened my character sheet.
There are many ways for a body to maintain its magical power after it's been killed.
Lovely.
But Will, people die when they are killed.
Remember
Yes.
that whole celestial possession thing we were just talking about?
No.
Perhaps that is how she heralds in the Lord of Light.
Would it still work if she is giblets? I'm just asking a practical question here.
Girl says,
The,
Nim, if
the
you die, I
body-
have to eat
the
you.
body would be reconstructed.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
bullshit.
That's yucky.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Anyway, as the two of you make your way back through this lovely Trelladar night, the street lamps are lit, and the sky is empty of stars. Except for one.
Mm.
Oh
Then you
Um,
see
Lord of Light.
What do you see?
Garl
What do your
and
eyes see?
Nim. The conversation kind of like comes to like an end after Rosemind's like trip down memory lane with everyone.
Garl is now hasn't said anything, but is now, since chucking up in the basket or anything and cleaning up, has just been staring at Nim's face very intently.
Do I have something on my face? Is something the matter?
Ara?
Carl?
You look very much like your mom when she was younger.
Yes.
It is a weird realization, but I also feel like I should have noticed that a long time ago. It's very confusing.
Yes, I
Oh,
apologize for the bit of a mind fuck, Garl.
I have a big headache.
Yes.
Mm.
Do we have any ale?
No, I have something better for you. And Rosemind just hands you a cup that has like a tablet in the bottom of it that's dissolved.
Nice.
I think I have enough rocks in my body already.
No, Carl, it's a seltzer. You drink it and it helps your headache.
Okay.
Trust.
I trust you. I trust you, Nim. Ow.
Yeah, Garl drinks the glass and headache does go down a little bit. Yes, and this is one of the ones without the opioids in it.
Nice.
Wait, what?
You good?
All right. Well, for fear of overstaying our welcome, we should probably take our leave. It is getting rather late, although I cannot overstate how appreciative I am for everything.
Rosemond just says, I'll be here. Olivier and, well, the rest of them don't really have much time to get out. So they'll be off doing their own thing, but you have what you need from them. That's what matters in the long run.
Well, hopefully your faith has not been misplaced in me and my party, and everything is fine. Everything's going to go well, and nobody's going to be turned into a war weapon, and it'll all be fine. It'll all be fine.
I mean, I'm a little bit that way, with the implanted crystals. War weapon.
Would you like to not be that way?
I mean, it would certainly make sleeping in beds easier.
Yes, Garl, as...
They do feel like they grind into my spine sometimes, and that's not pleasant.
When you all do visit Percival, that is something that he wanted to work on.
Oh,
So there may be something there for that.
okay.
That would be nice.
Well, then we have all sorts of reasons to go to Percival.
Indeed.
All right, then we know our first stop. We have a direction. We have valuable information.
New
We have a little
memories?
bit of direction.
New old memories.
New old memories. All right, thank you, but we will take our leave. And
yeah.
go.
Y'all depart,
Um,
and
as I would like, as we're walking back, Will, just to keep like a vigilant look around and make sure no one's following us.
Yeah,
make me perception, which
I'll assist.
All
on
right.
that.
I do have my lovely true sight, so if they think like, oh, well, I'm invisible, I'm following sneakily. Nope.
Ooh.
as above, so below.
Damn.
Um,
I love the contrast.
as you're
Looks like
heading
Christmas.
back, Nimbus, for a split second in the shade of the moon, a hawk swoops above your heads, but it doesn't appear to track you.
Okay. All right.
All right then, keep your secrets.
Carl, did you enjoy playing bodyguard?
Yes. I got to stand around, not say a lot, and look tough. I feel like that is a role well suited for me.
That's what you did in, well, I guess it was more of a nightmare than a dream, but is that what you would do as a profession?
I mean, would I be allowed to pick my client? Could I pick Cassandra?
I think you could pick Cassandra.
Or would that be a conflict of interest?
Probably. But
Would it be a Princess Diana situation?
Oof.
Because
that has a lot of
Because
confusing
didn't-
connotations.
Because wasn't there like a TV show where like it was Princess Diana and her bodyguard in like a romantic relationship?
maybe, but I don't think that was what she was known for.
It's
No,
not
I
her
know, but
fault
I
she
just-
was
I
hot.
remember, I remember that TV show, which is why I was like, oh right, like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We're gonna put a pin in that for later.
Fair. You all
Surprise
make your
tool
way,
that'll help us later.
You all make your way back, and you will all meet up basically around a similar time. Each one of you looking exhausted for completely different reasons.
Can we?
Yeah.
Can
Does
we
anyone
have
have any mints or any gum?
Have caramels.
I mean, okay. I won't say no to a caramel from you.
One of the spots.
Can we? What
We-
did we
we
all
can.
learn tonight?
Let's go find somewhere comfortable to sit.
Yes. Yes.
Cozy fire, blankets, cocoa.
I conjure some cocoa.
Ooh.
Sure.
Does it have little marshmallows or big marshmallows?
It's little freeze-dried ones.
Ooh.
Nice.
Those are my favorite.
Very nice.
Would they smoke then a little when you threw them in the hot cocoa?
I sure hope so.
When I say freeze-dried, I mean like the kind of astronaut food ones
Oh.
that Christmas.
Ow.
Like
Still
Lucky
good.
Charms.
I like those.
Yeah, it's still good.
Ew.
Yeah.
Like the Lucky Charms.
Not me with the entire tube of those that I finished off today.
They're yummy. They melt in
What
your
else
mouth.
is yummy?
No, Cooper. This is a PG stream.
Oh, gee. I think you made it worse, Will.
Yes. So you are all you all meet up in your room. Hot cocoa's provided. Blankets are provided. Hecate is like just
As she should.
fully stretched out, with like belly up, arms up.
Correct.
I give her belly pats.
As you
There's
should.
like a
Or for the sake of time, can we just say that we have accurately shared the events of tonight with one another?
you can totally do so.
I love
No.
that idea.
We have to role play the conversation.
If you
You
want
know what,
to,
you're
you
right,
can.
you're right.
If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's up to y'all.
I will certainly just reiterate how fucked up it is. What they
That little
did
brother
to your
not doing
brother.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, gods. For what it is
They
worth...
wouldn't even take a caramel.
Oh. For what it is worth... it's not that my upbringing was necessarily easy, but it wasn't quite so
Militant.
Spartan.
sparse and empty.
No
I mean, it does sound that
semblance of joy.
they are treating him more as a tool.
I mean, from what you said, he said as much himself, that he considers himself a weapon.
He wouldn't even sit on his bed unless he was sleeping in it. 2 hours.
It's impossible under the circumstances, but I really think, just a weekend in the Opal Empire would have done this boy a world of good.
I agree. Well,
I don't think we're
fortunately,
going.
the Opal Empire is no more, and we have no one to blame for that but Treladar.
And it looks like the goal of the Lord of Light is to ensure that Treladar would soon be no more.
Well, obviously, we're not going to let that happen.
No.
Oh, but of course.
Much as I don't like it being Treladar, I also do not like his methodology.
Do you think it's worth reaching out to Malachor? Do you think I could talk to him? Or do you think that's too dangerous?
I think he's too far wired. I don't entirely know what the outcome would be, but
I don't think it's impossible to soften him up. I just don't think he's quite ready yet.
yeah.
We did offer to be available for him if he needs any help, and I do hope he reaches out.
It's gonna happen.
I'm very tempted to just shoot him a sending and say, if you want your memories back, you don't have to kill me and we don't have to fight. Just give him the option. I wonder if he'd take it.
It's not worth it. I firmly encourage you not to do it. Only because I think that he would be able to hunt you down very quickly. And I don't think we're ready. I think that we're going to have to pacify your brother. Certainly not dispatch him, but I do think we're going to have to wear him down.
I may have an idea for that, but I need to think some more.
Okay.
I may
Well,
need to talk
perhaps
to the magic people.
perhaps if we went to my mother first. I don't know. There's a part of me that wonders if we're spending an awful lot of time on this when it ultimately is not what we came here to do. I'm being selfish.
Maybe.
To be fair, your family does have all the runes you need.
Oh, speaking of, part of why we came here, and she'll pull out the vial of angel dust that she snatched from the priest, whatever she said. I did manage to keep this. I'm not sure how to use it. I'm not even 100% sure how useful it might be, but well, we have it.
Carrying over Nimbus's religion check from earlier. Nimbus, you would recognize that substance as such. And specifically, you would recognize its use as essentially a bonding agent for a celestial to a mortal.
Okay.
That's concerning.
He was using it on what's her face?
Lavinia.
Lavinia, yes. Lavanya. Lavi, if you will.
Libby.
Poor little idiot.
Not her fault.
Did seem to be taking a toll on her.
Abby.
She was something, that's for.
I heard some of what she was saying at the party, and I'm not particularly inclined to. I don't stand for bigotry, and I don't appreciate a lot of what she was saying. That there is being taken advantage of, and there is buying into hatefulness, and I think she is a victim of both. You may call to mind that one of Desna's anathema is bigotry. So...
Desna, by the people, for the people.
What's going on in here? What's going on in the Zoom chat? People are giggling. Oh.
There is some giggling going on.
I feel like there are secret Zoom messages being passed around
There
that
is.
we're not seeing.
We'll
How
talk.
did you
Wasn't to me.
know?
Wasn't to me. I am
No,
innocent.
it was between Will and Abby. I can tell.
Well, we'll tell you after stream.
Yes,
So what is?
but,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, the celestial she's being bonded to is in fact Ragnaphon.
Disgusting.
Stressful.
Who is extremely insistent that whether I like it or not, I will be returning to his side once he's returned. And while I personally do not feel like that, I have previously expressed the links that I do wonder if there's some sort of control he may have over me that I'm not yet aware of. So I am going to throw it out there that if push comes to shove, if we can't stop his return, do what you have to do to keep me from doing any harm.
Okay, I will kiss you then. That's how the magic story goes, right? Wakes up from a magic kiss.
Well,
Wiggles magical Garl eyebrows.
I wonder if there isn't a way to put an off switch in you. If you were
Oh,
able
boy.
to do it to Garl.
That's a very different thing.
Like a light switch, turn
That
it
might-
off.
It might have taken years for that to have fully taken in
I
Garl.
don't know that. And Cassandra might be able to do it faster, given that she was the progenitor of this specific type of magic. Isn't
If
that
it's able
right?
to be done, I will absolutely open myself up to it.
See,
Do we
the
know how to
thing
do
is,
that? Because we were
Cassandra-
able to change.
Corellia wouldn't have memories of how to do this, but you know who would?
Uh-oh.
Lucinda.
Ari,
You know who
Ari.
else might be able to help with this? Who was able to help in the past with this? Hi.
And there's also someone else who may or may not be in some form of existence right now who could help with this.
My mom.
Not
yeah, she
necessarily
is
your
the-
mom. There's also like another person, a Baba of some sorts that might be able to.
I'm not going to Baba Yaga for what? Bitches
Or
are crystal
why?
right now anyway.
If it is true and Lucinda is in fact alive, I can't lie, I would be curious to know what she knows.
We can try that. I also think it's worth we could do a little read omens and some join pasts right now and see if I can't jog anything with that.
I'm
Oh,
open to it.
I forgot you had that spell, Nim. If you want, I wouldn't mind showing you the new memories I have of your parents.
Oh my god, I forgot about the ability to do that. That's so wholesome.
I would love that, girl. But table it. We'll do
Okay.
Cassandra first.
Oh god,
And I will
I'm
use
crying
that.
now.
Aww.
Got me.
Oh.
Admittedly, I'm not. I wasn't there for the most wholesome parts, like the the proposal and stuff. I was probably in a tube.
Rose My Move told a story, but like during that proposal bit, how they were all basically hiding behind the bushes, and like right before their kiss was about to happen, like someone tripped and like broke a thing, and it like completely ruined the moment. They were like, "What the hell, guys?" It's like, "What? We had to be here for this."
Nim, who also had her first kiss interrupted by her entire party, feels that.
It's a family thing.
It's a family thing.
It's a
No
family
ignoring.
curse.
It's a family curse. Just
Yeah.
maybe. So
To be
this,
fair,
I'm level 19. This is the level I find out about my oracular curse and its origins.
Yes.
Is this what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
you followed Cassandra on her date with Drevrin, though.
Yes, because we were trying to make sure Ray didn't fuck it up. That's different.
You know what? That is valid.
That was for your.
We are our
That
own
is
worst
true.
enemies.
I do remember that.
The party is its own worst enemy.
Okay. Anyway, let's do this join pass thing. I know, Will, you had us both roll something in the past. That was
Yes.
a knowledge check. I
In
don't
this
remember.
case scenario, the knowledge that you were trying to access would not be knowledge that you would be able to get with joining pasts.
If I use it in conjunction with read omens.
If you do it
Okay.
in conjunction with read omens, it points you towards the stars in the sky and the lady who helped pluck them.
Lavinia's helping?
What if I try it?
It would be like
You're not going to give it to me, but I have to ask. In conjunction with divine guidance.
With divine guidance, the image becomes a little bit clearer. Instead of that, like, read omens is normal, like, wishy-washy, like, what could it be? It says, essentially, Lucinda holds these memories.
Right. Your princess is in another castle. Point taken.
There's a little mushroom,
right.
little Desmond mushroom butterfly.
All right. Well, we have some options here. I was thinking maybe our first stop might be Percival Venthrall. He's the Archmage of Abjuration. The other Archmages seemed to believe that he might be sympathetic to the cause, that he may have been looking past some communications to and from Treladar, and also implied that he may have a way to help Garl with her crystals. So he might be a good first stop. At least we know where he is. And we do know where he is, don't we?
You know that he's in Abjuris, which is the city of abjuration magic. From there, you'd
makes
have to
sense.
find him in the city.
Actually, I was thinking about that, and I realized we might want to put that crystal investigation on the back burner.
Why's that?
I'm not sure if this is how it works, because I don't really understand how any of it works, but if we pull the crystals out, I might not be useful. Like I don't know if I will lose like my funny spells that I can cast without understanding them, and I want to be useful. I want to be useful, so I can live with them for a while longer. I've lived with them this long, I think.
Is there some sort of either Arcana or Religion check I might be able to make to see?
If you'd like, you can make an Arcana or Religion check. As you're doing that check, as Garl's making that comment, we're going to cut back to Chip for a moment,
Oh, I was just thinking about that.
who is looking
Garl
at a
has 6
vial-
months to live.
who is looking at a vial of Garl's blood that has fully crystallized.
Turns the vial upside down. Doesn't come out.
Interesting reaction.
To
And then we
air.
and then we cut back to the party.
I got a 38 in Religion.
Religion.
Hypothetically, it would be possible, but it also might not be possible. This is kind of unprecedented territory.
Tetra.
Without being like
Oh,
the person,
Garl's unique.
without being the person who initially did this research or someone very close to them, you may not have all the context necessary to get a concrete answer.
Should
Would you maybe want to look into your old notes regarding this?
Regarding which notes, I forget. My brain's.
Nim is essentially asking you to make an Arcana or Religion check regarding
Ah,
Garl's
yes.
proclivities, since you were the
Oh.
one who originally.
And this was
True,
a
true.
weird idea I also had turned to links. You know, sometimes when I get hit in a fight, bits of the things break off. Do you ever want to gather that up and like make a bomb or something out of them? That might be neat. I don't know.
that's
Or is that weird?
it's no, it's not. But
I'll throw this in there just in case.
kind of using your body to make a bomb, huh, bud?
I mean, I don't mean to
Bath and Body
downplay
Works.
myself, but I am here to protect you guys with with my body and my fists and my sword. So if even stuff that breaks off of me can help, I'm okay with that.
Cassandra, you go to basically look through an old set of your notes. You open your bag to find that book that Arinari would have given you way back when, post Shadowplane, and that book's no longer there.
Oh, someone's stealing books? That's the worst crime ever.
Wow.
I go to the library real quick to see if it's in there. It's like, did I put it in there? Where'd it go?
It's not in there.
There's a sneak thief somewhere.
A sneak.
All
A
right,
thief.
all right. Did you take it?
No answer.
Oh yes, that's right. Arinari disappeared into the void.
Yeah, he sure did.
It's what he deserves. All right. Well, then I guess I will leave it all to you. If you'd rather see Lucinda first, we can do that. Keep in mind we only have maybe a week before they
Well,
do what they do.
that's fine. Then I'm sure I'll be fine for a week.
Okay.
So I walk underneath the ladder and cross the path of a black cat or something.
Go on.
Boom.
Garl totally
Did
not
we
tempting
have any
fate.
specific reasons to see Amelia Rosenort or Zeboot?
Amelia, if we needed any specific magical items. Zeboot, maybe if we needed, I don't know, information regarding the Archmage of Conjuration.
That could help.
Couldn't hurt, but it would be difficult to ask him direct questions about it. He seems a kind soul, but I don't think he's a turncoat quite yet.
Fair.
I just figured out the name for the Archmage of Conjuration.
Congratulations. Is it Z-Boot?
It's not Z-Boot.
One more question, and Cassandra will go to their host to ask this. And she's like,
Goes
"Are
down
you aware if Malachor is allowed to receive letters and or gifts?"
He does receive a fair amount of fan mail, to my understanding. Ever since being in Teen Mage, he's become quite popular.
Was.
He's sort of the I don't know what would be a good equivalent. He's like the sort of it boy of Treladar.
God, gag me.
I hate how funny that was to me.
Fantasy Harry Styles.
Ah.
Well, Cassandra will write a quick little note that just says, "Remember, life is supposed to be sweet." Put a little caramel in there, and say, "Can you put this in the mail just in case he might not receive it, but he might."
Oh yes, of course. As effectively, Cassandra hands him an envelope that contains 100 squats.
Yeah.
On the bottom of the letter it
Cassandra.
says, "Do not do any squats if you eat this." That is a rule.
Cassandra, while I understand the sentiment, I worry that... Do you honestly think my father does not go through his mail? Given what we have learned about him tonight.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but if he's receiving a lot of fan mail and there's nothing particularly telling, I mean, yes, he might not receive the caramel, it might be taken out, but I did draw the little outline of caramel around where I stuck the caramel. So he'll know. I'm hoping he knows what it means, given our previous conversation, and remember that he can come to us if he's feeling any sort of way.
So, a word about divination. Currently, my father does not have your name, he has not met you, and he does not have anything that has ever belonged to you. If you send him this, he will.
Well, it's not Casadella.
If anyone does any kind of object reading and discern location with it, you are fucked, which means we are fucked.
But
You
I also
have to-
have the anti-tracking earrings.
Cassandra, this is the Archmage of Divination we're talking about here.
I mean, I'm a master of divination too. I got my special robes. Maybe it won't work. I don't know.
I think discern location specifically thwarts most non-tracking things. It is an 8th level spell, and those earrings are not. They are very pretty though. Yes,
Here's a thought.
automatically overcomes protections against detection and divination of a lower level, which even if they would normally have a chance to block
Well,
it.
Question: just how the spell works? Would the problem of it be nullified if we just literally gave it to someone else and just had them send it?
No, if it's an object that you have come into contact with.
Yes, but then there's 2 people involved. Which one would it track?
True. Cassandra will take the note back and she's like, "Please transcribe this for me and get a caramel to put inside. Life is supposed to be sweet. Sincerely, Casadella. Do not do squats if you eat this caramel. That's a request."
I have a way for us to have it.
There's actually a lovely caramel shop here in Treladar. They have these rose gold things. They're delicious. Anyway, I'll send him one of those.
Hold on a moment. Garl leaves the room. You guys hear a horrible sound. Comes back in holding a bowl, and the miniature version of the trauma elemental is in there. He's like, "Give it the pen, and it'll write the letter."
Again,
Matthew!
we don't want anything traced back to us, Garl.
Yes, but this thing disappears when I'm not using it, so it can't be tracked to anywhere.
It disappears into you.
Oh, I thought. Oh,
Cassandra's just staring at it like,
It's just staring up at you, and it's like,
I thought it because I couldn't.
Stand out of the way and let the maid write it. That way, if they do detect
All right.
location or object reading,
I'll be right back.
it's just
You go-
staring at Cassandra.
Garl goes
as-
back into the hall, and you hear another horrible sound.
As Garl goes away, Cassandra, you just hear in the back of your head, "You made me." and then
Mother.
Wait.
What an
All right.
interesting episode this is shaping up to be.
it's been a really good. I've been really happy with this episode. It's been very fun.
Trying to help.
I'm coming to notice that the episodes where I just physically don't really have much to contribute tend to be the funniest ones.
Oh, that's not the case. Remember the first
No,
episode?
like, there's-
Remember how
It's not that like
hilarious
I
the
don't
first
feel
episode was when you
useful.
got skewered by a spear? That was fun.
I mean, yeah,
A
of
little
course I
shish
do. Are you kidding?
kebab.
Buddy system.
I'm not mad about it. I just think it's really funny.
Thanks,
Okay,
kebab.
let's make a choice as to what our next move is so that we can hop to it in the morning. Are we going after Percival Venthrel, or are we trying to find Lucinda?
I am open to either. I do have more of a personal attachment to Lucinda, though. I will admit it.
My vote's Lucinda, personally.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that's actually my preference as well. But Garl, if you have a strong feeling one way or the other.
No?
All right.
I'm more than happy to go along with the group. I just want to be helpful.
Garl
Did I already say that?
would.
Maybe.
All right. Well, then let's take this god-awful makeup off and go to bed.
I mean, I thought you looked very
yeah.
pretty.
Thank you, Garl.
As they're all shuffling off to their rooms, Cassandra will go over to Garl and say, Garl.
Yeah?
If this is something you are not comfortable with, I completely understand, and I don't want you to feel pressured either way, but, I've had a bit of, a rough day, and, I would really like it if, that is to say, you're invited to, sleep in my room with me if you want.
You wanna cuddle?
Yeah, I would cuddle.
Garl is utterly still for a second. Turns 180 degrees just to face away from you a quick second. There's a small squeak sound. And she turns right background. I think that would be nice. I don't mention it very often, but I'm very good at hugging with the big arms, so you know it'll be very comfortable.
Can I confess something?
Of course.
I've known ever since you scooped me up to run me through that maze that you have very nice, comfortable arms.
Oh, I remember that. That was a lot of fun.
It was. Anyway, I'll see you in my room. Hecate is looking forward to it. Bye!
Skip.
Nice.
Oh God, what will I wear?
Me.
Nothing, ideally.
Yeah.
This is chaste cuddling, probably.
Yeah,
It's the
sure.
PG scream.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Lynx.
Okay, I believe.
Sandra
you.
is a
Hello.
lady. You take things slow.
Do you head to bed?
Yeah.
Nice. You get a good sleep. Nimbus.
Oh.
As you are lying down into bed, getting cozy and ready to sleep,
I think where this is going.
just in the back of your mind, you hear Malikor's voice. Sleep. And you feel as though you have an option to fall asleep immediately.
I think I know this spell. Is this Dream Council?
This is a dream council, yes.
Sleep.
As Nimbus falls asleep in her bed and finds yourself on a extraplanar area, like an extraplanar space, with like a long table and a chair for Nimbus, but no chair for Malikor. A hawk just perches outside of Nimbus's room.
Morello's still
Oh.
pet cached.
I know.
I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just saying. Like, I'm getting this. Like, Nimbus, you're falling asleep, and there's like after you fall asleep, a hawk just perches at your windowsill.
Hmm.
Ah.
Do I see this as I'm falling asleep?
After you
Okay.
fall asleep, it perches there. I'm just setting that scene.
Gotcha.
And just standing at one end of this table, you see Malachor.
Hello.
I believe I met some of your friends tonight, Nimbus.
Maybe.
I believe you did. Did you like them?
One of them got me out of a situation. I appreciate that. The other, you really should speak to your friends about how they hold themselves in a sort of stealth situation when they're trying not to reveal their identities. She was, well, quite easily what gave you all up.
Lynx typically avoids those type of situations entirely. Casadella is a little bit more adept at talking herself out of them.
Yes, she is the one who blew your their cover, actually. Casadella. I can't continue this farce any longer. Corellia.
There it is.
So you do recognize her then?
I recognized you all at the party.
And you didn't cause a scene?
No, that would be impolite.
Well, yes, but it would be quite valiant to apprehend rebel scum invading Treladar in secret.
I was told to kill you on sight. I wasn't told to make a scene when doing so.
Mutually
Could have
exclusive.
spiked a drink.
No, I'm not that type of person. I have honor, unlike you.
Unlike me.
Yes.
And what have I done?
So many things. And Malachor starts just listing off basically every single terrible thing that Ray ever did. Except it's been you've been superimposed onto that.
Yup. That's
R.I.P. me.
kind of brilliant. I can't lie.
This tells me that Ray is somewhere in Treladar and has had contact with my mother,
Yes.
Maybe.
which is terrifying. And bodes very poorly for Ray. I think he just sees Nim's face get more and more pouty and cross. And she just says, I don't know how I can convince you of this, but none of those were me. Have you met Ray Sildon? Have you met her?
No, I don't even know who that is.
God, I envy you.
Wow.
Valid.
Wow.
I love
Have
you,
you
Shy. I'm
considered-
sorry.
Have you considered perhaps a little join past? Teehee.
I don't know if I can do that over Dream Council.
yeah, you
or I
Why
would
not
have a-
try?
Huh?
You totally could if you wanted to.
May I show you, then, Malachor, what those memories looked like from my perspective? Because that wasn't me. I hate to be like, oh no, that was my friend. But in this case, I really can't even call her a friend. I'm sorry. You've struck a nerve. I admit it. If you would like to see all of those horrible misdeeds, as they actually occurred, and not as they have occurred in whatever mythos my mother has shared with you, I would lovingly impart them upon you. But if not, you would just have to take my word for it.
Make me a diplomacy check.
Gladly.
The DC is lower because of the points that you all got during the party towards Malachor.
Yes.
In fact, the
We
only one
slayed,
who
we
is sending this
served.
message
That's a
not-
50. That's a 50.
Yay!
If not for your friends, I would not be willing to do this, Nimbus. If I lose any of my memories from this, I will kill you.
No,
You've taken them once already, is my understanding. Though who knows if that's true at this point.
I
That's
could
the
tell you that
issue.
it isn't.
That's the issue I'm having, Nimbus. I'm at a point right now where every part of my life that I thought was taught to me is slowly being proven wrong, and I don't know how I became the type of person I am. Can you imagine that if you've had can you imagine having your entire identity pulled from under your feet and yet you still find yourself standing on it?
More than you know. Unfortunately, our parents, even with the best of intentions, and I do not believe that they have had the best of intentions recently, have a bit of a habit of making it difficult for their children to carve out an identity of their own. It's kind of why I left in the first place, is because I came to the realization that I didn't really have an identity beyond trying to make my parents happy, which was a losing battle because it's very difficult to make them happy. Or just being like them, which is also a losing battle because who can be like them, right? They're practically perfect in every way. What they have done to me is a fraction of how they have hurt you, and I am so sorry that I wasn't here to protect you.
You cast your spell. And you can visibly see his psyche shattering. Like, you are effectively showing a person that every part of their life has been simulated up until a certain point. And even though it's a dream, the color fades from his skin. And after your spell is cast, there's just silence.
Can I give him a hug?
Yeah, you go in to hug him, he's just standing there.
I'm sorry, Malachor. You deserved to have your own life and to make your own choices.
Nimbus, you feel tears hitting your shoulder. He's still
harder.
completely silent.
If there's anything I can do to make this better for you, name it.
My path is clear. And the dream message ends.
No, stop.
And as it ends, Nimbus, you're jolted awake. The morning has come. And there is on your windowsill a singular feather from a hawk. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh boy.
I hope he gets his caramel in time.
Me too.
What will Malachor do with this revelation?
Get the blood
what
sugar
will
up.
our party do tomorrow? How will they deal with Percival? How will they deal with the rest of the Trelidarian Archmages? Join us next week.
I'm so sorry. We still have like 60 seconds and I want to shoot him a sending.
McKenna.
What are you gonna do? Sue me?
No, go ahead. He's not going to reply, but you can send him the sending.
Yeah,
That's
do
fine.
it. Do it.
I just want to tell him, please don't act rashly. It is possible our parents may be acting under another's influence, may not be in full control. Tread carefully.
Message received.
So he does
Also, Auntie send you a care
he'll
package.
respond. He'll respond to you. He'll respond with the yes, I've received this. That's it.
Scene.
I'll
Because
take it.
he's
I'll take
polite
it. Yeah.
like that. But if you want to see what happens, if you want to see what Malachor does, if you want to see what the party gets up to, join us next week for the exciting next episode of the League of Amazing Adventurers.
So amazing. So adventure.
My goodness gracious, everyone.
Much cuddles.
Yes, there was much cuddling going on in one area.
Hug.
Some names.
Hug
But
you.
thank you all so much for coming here tonight. Don't forget to check out our other shows, and we'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.
Oh yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bleh.